Hello, it is Motivational Monday, and I thought I would share my words of what I'm going to be sharing at our success meeting tonight. And you know what? I always try to be a little transparent with you. And this weekend, my youngest son got married, and it was just an incredible weekend. I've got to tell you, incredible. But we had an incident at the hotel that was a little scary and a little dangerous. And when I went to check out, I talked to them about it, and I thought, without saying it, I thought for sure that it deserved at least one night comped. And but they kind of were lackadaisy about it, and didn't seem to be real concerned. So I found myself getting a little worked up about it. Has that ever happened to you? And today, on Monday, this is the next day, I'm still finding myself maybe a little worked up about it. And as I was preparing for tonight, I thought, you know what? We either learn and grow or we go backwards. And so my topic for tonight is your mindset is the blueprint of your life. And when you have something like that happening in your mind, it sometimes prevents growth. So let me kind of go through my notes, and I'm going to share with you how I feel about that. So we have a choice. We can either choose to bury ourselves in life's obstacles, or we can stand over them in victory. And you know what? Standing over them in victory leaves a lot of that negative thought process behind. So, we're going to talk about some of the things that we need to do. So, whether you're comfortable in your life or uncomfortable, now I'm going to tell you what, if you're uncomfortable, usually that's a good reason to move forward, and it pushes us to move forward. It's when we're comfortable that sometimes we start slipping backwards, because when we're comfortable, we don't grow. And so I'm going to push you out of your comfort zones, because I do believe that when you're uncomfortable, you will change your mindset. And when you change your mindset, you will change your activity, you will change your business, and then you will move on and grow in your business. And then your life will change. Dreams will start coming true. You'll have a lifestyle that you didn't imagine before. So I'm going to ask you some questions. And these were questions I asked myself today, just today. The first one is, who might you need to forgive? See, not forgiving someone creates negative energy, and it pushes stuff away from us. And the thing about forgiveness is we think forgiveness has to do with the other person. No, forgiveness has to do with you. Forgiveness is letting go of all of the icky feelings and not letting what has happened to you control your future. Because if you don't forgive, guess what? You have empowered that person even more. Okay, second question. Who do you wish revenge for? Ooh, that's kind of a tough one. Because sometimes, don't you hear yourself saying, oh, karma comes around, what comes around goes around? In a way, we're wishing revenge on that person. And isn't it easier just to let it go? Because that brings me to my third question. My third question is, what are you hanging on to the resentment for? Is it serving you? As I was thinking about this incident and thinking, oh, I'm going to write the hotel chain. I'm going to write the management. I'm going to do all this. And then suddenly I had to think, and who is it going to serve? Is it going to serve anyone? Is it going to serve me? Probably not. So it only controls my feelings a little bit more. It only creates a little bit more of that turmoil inside. Now, I know that this is a pretty small instance to think about, but there's big things that happen to us in life, and these same rules apply. Okay, number 5. We're number 4. How might you be holding on to being a victim? Sometimes we become comfortable being a victim. And then it actually becomes uncomfortable to let it go. And that's where it becomes scary, when we really find comfort in the mindset that we don't have control. And when we continue to be a victim, we give whatever has happened to us more and more power. We feed it with power. So it is time to let that go. Okay, number 5. This is a big one. Can you see how that negative energy can stop you? And if you just turn that negative energy into positive energy, how different your life could be. You know, when you can take an instance, something that happened to you, an incident, and turn it around into something positive, to where you can teach or move forward, or you learn something about yourself, or you learn to empower yourself, or you find strength in it. When you can turn that negative into a positive, that's how you move forward. That's how you attract that future that you want. That's how you empower yourself and empower others. See, once we decide to move forward, there's a couple things we have to do. Number 1, we have to set a goal. You have to have a goal, a personal goal, a spiritual goal, and a business goal. Now, I'm your business coach, so we're going to talk about business goals. You have got to have something that you're shooting for. You know, 2 of my sons are hunters, and if they went out without something in mind that they were going to hunt, that would be a little scary. Because you know what? We have people in the world doing that right now. And it is a little scary. You have got to know what you're searching for. Because otherwise, number 1, you don't know when you get it. And number 2, you never will get it. Because you're not moving forward towards it. When you're a defined mind will move towards that definition. Number 2, you need to get the people that are close to you to buy into your goal. Now, I've got to tell you, when I set my goal to move forward in Mary Kay, and to make this my business, and to step out and quit my job, my husband didn't really buy into it. I could say that let's see, what did he say? Well, you'll do whatever you want anyway. But what happened as I was doing my business, I would go to a sales meeting, or I'd go do an appointment, and I would come home just exuberant. You know, I was so excited, and he didn't understand it. And he actually was a tad bit jealous. In fact, I remember we were living at 415 Luther Road in Fremont, Nebraska. I walked into the back door, and he was sitting in the living room, and I was just so excited, and I was happy. And he turned to me, and luckily he was strong enough to actually even use these words. He said, "Mary Beth, I feel a little jealous because I think your business is making you happier than me." Now, that was a lesson to me. I hadn't brought him with me. I hadn't included him. I hadn't sold him on the goal. I hadn't explained where I was going, why I was going there, and what I was doing on the way. So, let them, bring them along. If they don't quite get what you're doing, equate it to something that they're doing in their life, whether it's hunting or golfing or fishing, or something that they just find a love in. If you can't, if they don't get your business, then equate it to that. We know it's not a hobby. We know it's changing their future. Then you just do it. And as you start changing your future and changing the outlook, the financial outlook of your family's household, they'll come along. Believe me, the more money you make, the more they'll come along. Okay. Acknowledge that you have to make short-term choices. Some of you are working full-time and then coming home and building a second business. If that's the case, it's short-term choices. Do you know every day choices that you make are going to move you forward in your future or create a stagnant state, which we know you can't be stagnant without slipping back. So everything is a choice. And for a period of time, you're going to have to make some choices. You might have to choose to give up X to get Y. I remember hearing a story by Arlene Lenars that when she loved playing volleyball. And she went to her then senior director and said, but I really want to get on this volleyball league. And her senior director, Nancy Tejan, said to her, Arlene, if you give it up for one season, you can play volleyball for the rest of your life. Do you know that Arlene Lenars put a volleyball court in the back of her mansion because she gave it up one season, and she gave her all. Now that means if you give it up, you've got to give it your all. Which brings me to number 4. Success is a choice and failure is a choice. Both of them are a choice. You know, when I chose to leave my job and make this my career, I kind of took failure out of the equation as an option. I couldn't fail. I pulled the rug out. And I moved forward. I devoted it. There was just no way I could fail because I wouldn't let myself. And sometimes you have to get to the point that you just do not choose to fail. You are going to go forward and you're going to find a way. You're going to make a way. You're going to fit it in. You're going to make the choices you need to make to get it done. Number 5, NSD Christian Trovanowski says to unattach yourself from the outcome. Just unattach yourself, because no one can reject you if you do not choose to be rejected. So this is what she does. This is what she says. If somebody turns her down, she says, if you ever change your mind, here's my business card. Just call me. I'm really good at what I do. So if someone rejects you, it's okay. If you ever change your mind, just call me. I'm really good at what I do. And then don't take it as a rejection. Number 6, work your business so consistently that you don't have to think about it anymore. You know, my business is my business, and I don't have to think about going to work every day. I just go to work every day because it's part of me. And when you work, and to create that consistency sometimes takes effort. If you have small children, you know the first week back at school and sometimes the first month back at school is really difficult because you're reestablishing boundaries. You're reestablishing their work ethic. They're reestablishing all of that in their little heads. Well, we have to do it in our heads too. We have to work until it becomes habit, because then pretty soon when you get those habits established, it's just a natural system that they go through. And you do the same thing with yourself. So just know that when you change the blueprint in your mind, when you make a decision, when you set a goal, when you decide that failure is not an option, when you move forward and work hard, make good choices. I want you to use that word choices a lot this week. When something comes in front of you, what are you going to choose to do? When somebody comes in front of you, are you going to say, oh, they're busy? Or are you going to follow that nudge in your heart and give them your card? When are you going to find a way, make a way with each person? How can I serve them? How can I work with them? What can I give them of myself so my business, my company can fulfill a need that they might have? Just know that I believe in you, and yes, you can do it. Make good choices. Let go of the past. Clean it out. Let it all go, and just let positive energy move you forward to your goals. Make it happen this week.